Good evening, everybody. How is everyone doing? Let me check what I need for tonight's stream. That's for next week. I'm just going through my tools and supplies. Think we're good. So, last week we ended with our floral squares of our garden themed granny month. Tonight we are doing the fauna, meaning the animals. So, just kick off the flora section of the month. We're going to do a butterfly.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high.
I have a new chat command for the butterfly. So there's our butterfly square that we're going to be doing tonight. This is, what do they call it? They just call it Crochet Butterfly Square. This is from the YouTube channel Crochet Mili. It's a three-dimensional butterfly. Pretty simple. And we're going to get into it. I don't like my sample, but I'm going to choose pink for the butterfly, some baby blue for the body and antenna, and then some white for the square, just like this one. I just needed some contrast. So we're going to move that over to the side. And we're going to get out our butterfly color. Put my ball in the yarn bowl. Move my other colors to the side real quick. This square is got 8 rounds, so it's not that difficult of a square. Joining the, when we go to add the granny square part to the butterfly, that's the most complicated part. Everything else is pretty easy. All right. So to start, we're going to chain 8, and then we're not doing a magic ring. We're doing a regular chain 8. We're going to chain 8, and then we're going to slip stitch to our first chain to form a ring. And if you've noticed that I've changed my layout slightly, I've changed the colors of the text, moved things around, and I've added my, it's over that way. That way? Everything's mirror image, but above, here, there we go. I've added the Crafty Cub to the top of it, so it's a little more on brand, I guess you could say. So we're going to chain 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and let me turn my audio down a little bit. Okay, Clay Miko, I just played the command. You gotta wait a few minutes. Yeah, give it about like 3 or 4 minutes. I just literally played it. Okay, I gotta change. That music a little somber. Okay. All right. Yeah, the font. Oh, it's right here. The font is the same font that Anna was nice enough when she made me that graphic. So when I go on ad break, it's the same. Where it says the Crafty Cup, I'll pull it up right here. We're not going to add. So I just use the exact same font. Let me check this. Okay. Anyway, back to our butterfly. So we've got a chain of 8. We're going to slip stitch into our very first chain to create a ring. Pretty simple here. So we got a large ring. And let me pull up my directions the right way. Then we're going to chain 3. And then into this ring, we're going to put 2 double crochets. There's 1 and 2. So our chain 3 counts as a double crochet plus 2 more. Chain 3. And then 3 double crochets into the ring. 2 and 3. We're going to do that 6 more times, so we're going to have a total of 8 of these 3 double crochet clusters. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 into the ring. 3. We're about halfway done. Or no, not even halfway done. We got to have a total of 8. So we got 3 there. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 into the ring. 2 and 3. Now we're about halfway done. Basically going to be making an octagon. 2, 3, and then 3 into the center. 2 and 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. We have 5 groups. 2, 3. 2 and 3. You're going to get a lot in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groupings. We need to get 2 more groupings in here. That's why we needed the chain of 8 to accommodate all of these stitches. 3. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got to get 1 more grouping in here. Messed up the stitch. And then we're going to chain 3. And we're going to slip stitch in the top chain of our first chain of 3. So again, we have our ring of 8, and then in our ring, we've got a granny cluster, which is 3 doubles, then 3 chains, and then you're going to do that a total of 8 times. You can kind of space this around. So you'll have 8 clusters, and each cluster is separated by a chain 3 space. That is round number 1. And it looks like a lot, but when we get done the butterfly itself, we're going to end up folding it in half. So it's not going to be as much bulk. Round 2. First, what we need to do, we're going to have to slip stitch the next 3 stitches to get to a chain space. So we're going to go into the next few stitches. So slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the chain space. So we're coming out of it, the first chain space. Now we're going to chain 3, and into that chain space, we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. Again, that first chain of 3 counts as a double. So we've got essentially 3 doubles going into that chain space, chain 3, and then 3 more doubles into that same space. Now, in every chain space, we're going to put 3 doubles, 3 chains, 3 doubles. So we're not chaining in between here. The only time we're going to chain is if we're working inside of a chain space. So it's 3 doubles, 3 chains, 3 doubles. Then you immediately go in and do 3 doubles. Now 3 chains. and then 3 doubles into the same space. There are little groupings. There's no chains in between our groupings. The chains are only in between, in the middle of our groupings. You're going to do that all the way around. 2 and 3. 3 chains, and then 3 doubles in that space. Guess you could call it a corner. And then the next one, same thing. 3 doubles, 3 chains, 3 doubles. Three doubles. 2, 3. We're about halfway there. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can count to 3. You could do this butterfly. And it's going to be wavy and curly. Don't worry about that. Again, when we go to form it into an actual butterfly, we will be folding it in half. Folding in half will even out all that waviness, and that is what's going to create the 3-dimensional effect of the wings coming up off of the square. 2 and 3. 8 chains. Oops. Three, and then 3 into that. And now we're going to slip stitch into the top of our chain 3 from when we started this round. Again, there's no chains in between, just like all the other ones we've been doing. So they're going to be right up against each other. So we're going to go into that top chain, slip stitch to join. So if we flatten it out a little bit, we've got this snowflake shape. Now we're ready for round 4. Or round 3. Round 3, sorry. This is where it gets a little more different. We're going to chain 3. Wait a minute, wait, no. Nope. We're going to slip stitch to our corner. So the next few stitches, we're going to slip stitch into our corner space, to our chain 3 space. Now we're going to chain 3. And into that, we're going to put 3 double crochets. So that's 1 there, and then 3 more. So you're going to put a total of actually 4 of them. Checking on to see how much yarn I have. Yeah, I got plenty. So we've got our 4 double crochets. Again, our chain 3 counts as 1. Chain 3. And now, into the top of our first double, the next, not the first, not the next. We've chained 3 into the top of our last double crochet that we made right here. So you're going to go into the stitch there and the post. So that right in there, you're going to slip stitch, and we're forming a picot. Then in the same chain space, we're going to put 4 more doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's 4 doubles, picot, 4 doubles. So I'm going to form this little point. We're going to chain 1. And then where these 2 clusters meet, the space here, where there's no chain space, but it's the space where the 3 stitches and the 3 stitches meet, into that, we're going to put a single crochet. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to repeat the pattern. In the next corner, we're going to put 4 doubles. 2, 3, and 4. Chain up 3, slip stitch into the top of the double crochet that you just made, not into any of those chains. Slip stitch into the top of that double crochet, form a picot, and then in the same space, put 4 doubles. 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. And then where these 2 clusters, these 2 groupings are, in that space, do a single. Now chain 1, and in our next corner, repeat the pattern. 4 doubles. 4 doubles. Chain 3. Slip stitch into the top of the double. That forms the picot. And then 4 more doubles in that same corner space. Chain 1. Single crochet in this space that's between our groupings from the previous row. Chain 1. And now in our corner to repeat. 4 doubles. Chain 3. Slip stitch into the top of the double to form the picot, and then 4 doubles into that space. 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go to add in a little bit, and while we're at add, I'm going to finish all the way around, and we'll probably meet up back over here to join, and then we will go from there. I will be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sitting through that ad break. While we were at ad, I went on round, finished off. All I have to do, I've done my last one. I've chained one, single crochet, chain one. Now I'm going to slip stitch to our first starting chain to join. So we're going to do a slip stitch. Now we're going to finish off. So I'm just going to chain one, cut my yarn, pull through, pull tight. And that is it for that color right now.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high.
Thank you, Clay Miko. So, yeah, it worked for you. Again, we had a cooldown period. Because remember our chat commands, we set it for, I think I got every 5 minutes before you can do the same one again. Because if not, people are going to be spamming it. And that's all we're going to hear. Yeah, I was making these, and I just started singing the song in my head. I got another one in my head, but I forgot what it was. Oh, that's for next week. That's next week. I'm not. Normally, I give a sneak peek preview of what these squares are going to look like, and I have done that pretty much, I think, for all this week, I think. Because I've shown this one, and I think I've shown the other butterfly one that we're going to do on Thursday, and I might have shown the dragonfly. But I'm not showing next Tuesdays. Next Tuesday is adorable. But we'll do that on Tuesday. So, that is going to be the butterfly. Yes, it looks like a flower. And that as a flower is great. I actually think that looks really nice as a flower. But it's not going to be a flower. So we're going to put our pink yarn away, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough to do the border, but that's fine. We'll worry about that later. So now I'm going to use this blue just for contrast for its body and its antenna. So what we're going to do first is with our butterfly, this is the right side. This is the side we've been looking at when we've been crocheting. That is the wrong side. They look a little different, as you know, with crochet. With rounds, it can look different. Oh, I didn't flip that tail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over so the wrong side is facing me, and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to line up the petals. And when you do that, that forms the butterfly shape. It's just that simple. All right, so what we're going to start with, we're going to connect it in the middle. So the wings will be open, but the middle will be connected, and then we can use that, and then we'll square it up. So with our next color, we're going to take it and flip it over. And where they meet here, at the bottom of the butterfly, I'm going to do a standing single crochet to join. You can do it with a slip stitch if you want. But I've got my slip knot on the hook. And through both layers, through that single crochet that's there, because remember, in between our little quote-unquote petals, or segments of the wings, there's a single crochet there. So you're going to go through that single crochet, and then the matching one on the other side. So you've sandwiched them together. And I'm going to just do a single crochet. Just to connect them together. Drop your tail to the back, to wherever. There's different ways of doing this. I think the video that I saw it on, they ended up chaining up X amount, and then they went over around to the back side. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it slightly different. So we've joined. We're going to chain 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, Clay Miko. And then we've chained 8, and then we're going to go to the middle, the top part of the middle, where the wings come together. From our first round here, roughly in the middle, you're going to basically split some of these stitches, get it approximately in the middle, and go through both layers. And we're going to single crochet. And pulling it through, it's a little tricky sometimes. Get it through however you can. Single crochet to join. So there's going to be our body. We're going to chain 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're working on the antenna right now. We're going to skip 2 chains, and in our third chain, we're going to single crochet. And then we're going to slip stitch into the next 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're down here at the bottom again. And then into wherever you can get. I'm going to do it right. Try to get into that single crochet. I'm going to put another single crochet. That's just to secure it a little more. Now we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to chain up 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to skip 2 chains, and in the third one, we're going to single crochet. Is that what we did? Yeah, single crochet. And then slip stitch into the next 4 chains. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to also sync what they do now. Let me just double check my, yeah. We're going to single crochet into that again, however you can get it in there, just basically to tack it down. And now you're going to slip stitch into your 8 chains that formed your body. And then I'm going to slip stitch to the bottom. What they end up doing is they do that, but then they chain up 8 more and they do it on the other side. But that's going to be the back. So I'm not going to worry about anything on the back. So all I'm going to do is slip stitch into this chain, into each stitch. Just work my way down. And that could be a little bit tedious to do because these chains are on the tighter side. And I don't like stitching into chains, period. But just take your time and go one at a time. And then all I'm going to do here is that's into the pink. I'm just going to do, actually I'm going to do a slip stitch to join. And then I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to cut my yarn, pull tight. And then you can kind of fluff it up however. Don't worry about how the antennas go. We'll deal with that later. And we will weave in our tails. You can tuck them in there, but since it's open, you're going to run the risk of them being seen and working their way through. So I would suggest to weave in your tails, and it doesn't have to be that elaborate. Just go through a few stitches. You don't have to go up through your whole body of the butterfly. I'm just going to go back and forth through a few of them and go back and forth a few times. So there's that one, and then I'm going to do the other one. You could weave both in at the same time, but sometimes that tends to make it a little bit bulky, and we don't want that. So I always choose to go one strand at a time when my tails are ending at the same place. Now we can cut our tails. And we got a little butterfly, and that alone is cute, and you can attach that to something and use it just like that. But now we're going to add it, not add it, but make it into a square. Put that away. Let me take a look over here. So that was round. They're calling this round 4. It's not really a round, but that's step 4. But to keep in the round thing, we will call that round 4. For round 5, we're going to choose our next color, which is going to be white. All right. So I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. Take our butterfly and raise its wings, and we're going to ignore the wing, the ones that are raised, and we're going to focus on the ones that aren't. And we're going to start with this bottom right hand wing and that picot stitch that we made. So into that picot stitch, we're going to put a standing double crochet right into the picot. Because remember, our picot is our chain 3, and then we slip stitch. There's a little hole there. So I'm going to work into that center hole and do a standing double. You can always join with a slip stitch and chain up 3. And into that picot, we're going to put 2 more doubles. I'm just double checking my notes. So there's our 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets into that same picot. So that's a basic granny square corner into our picot. We're going to chain 1. Let me double check something. Okay. In our next chain space, because remember, when we did our last row of our butterfly, we did 4 doubles, picot, and then 4 doubles. And then after that, we chained 1, single crochet, chain 1. We're going to work into that chain 1 space. And in that chain 1 space, put 3 double crochets. We're going to chain 1. And in the very next chain 1 space, that's right here, that's right next door, that very same one right next to it, we're going to put 3 doubles. So we've got our corner, chain 1, 3 doubles, and then into that space, chain 1 and 3 doubles in the next space. They look real close, and this one looks far away. But as we do the extra rounds, it's all going to even out. And then we're going to chain 1. Let me double check. Okay. Now in our next picot, for the next petal, we're going to do the same thing. Put 3 doubles into the picot. Oops. I split that a little weird. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and then 3 more in that same picot. Three. All right, this is the tricky part when we work around the top. Lost my track where I'm at. Give me 1 second while I recap my instructions. Chain space, chain 1, 3 double knot, chain space, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Okay. Chain 1, and then if you look at our butterfly, these were the stitches from round 1, these are the stitches from round 2, and these are round 3. So we want to focus on the stitches from round 2, so the second round of our butterfly itself. And we're going to go around, we're not worrying about the top ones. Let me open it up here. This stitch right here. So it's round 1, 2, 3, and round 2, that stitch where it's folded, around that post of that stitch, we're going to put in 3 double crochets. 2 and 3. So again, not in the front half of it, but on the back side. We're working all into the back portion of the butterfly. We'll put in 3 doubles. I'm going to chain 1. And what they recommend to do is to do the same thing, but on the other side. And let me look at my sample real quick. Yeah, that's what we want. All right. And this chain, that chain 1, we're going to have to make that chain 1 a little bit big and loose. And we're going to find round 2 on the other side. So there's 1, this is round 2. Here's the stitch. So there's round 1, round 2, round 3. We want round 2. And around that 1 stitch, we're going to put 3 more doubles. 1, 2, and 3. It's key to be a little bit loose here because it will pull in. So you're going to have this large space here, but that will get covered up by the antenna, and it won't be as noticeable. It'll be a little noticeable, but when it's here and you got the wings up, you're not going to see it as much. And then you chain 1. And again, we're working on the back wings, the back portion. In the picot, we're going to put 3 doubles. Chain 2 and 3 doubles, all in that picot. And you're going to repeat what you did on the other side. You're going to chain 1. You're going to find the first chain space and put in 3 doubles. Two and 3. Chain 1, and in the next chain space, which is like right next door, 3 more doubles. Chain 1, and we're at the picot again, and in the picots, that's our corners. We're going to put our 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Three, chain 2, and now our 3 doubles. Three. We're going to chain 1. We're going to treat the bottom like we treated the sides. We're going to look underneath here and find that chain space. And in that chain space, we're going to put in 3 doubles. Chain 1. And on the other side of the butterfly, there's the other chain space, put 3 more doubles. Chain 1, and now we can slip stitch to our first one to join, and that is round number 5. And it looks a little squashed because there's some tension and everything. I will recommend when this is all done to block this, because it's not going to be a perfect square, and you can stretch and block. Now let's do round number 6. Oh, first what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch to our corner. Okay? In the corner, we're going to put chain 3, 2 double crochets, that counts as 3 doubles, 2 chains, 3 doubles. So a regular granny square corner. In the next chain space, we put 3 doubles. And then we're going to chain 1, 3 doubles in each space. So you're going to treat it like a regular granny square. So we'll walk through that. There's our chain 3, it's our first double. We're going to put 2 more in the corner. Chain 2, because this is a corner. And then 3 doubles. Oops. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 1. In the space, put 3. Three doubles. Chain 1. In the space, put 3 doubles. Chain 1. Again, in the space, 3 doubles. Basic, simple granny square. Chain 1, and then we get to the corner. And 3, we're going to chain 2, and in the same space, put 3 more. Chain 1, do our 3. Double check something. Okay. I would chain very loosely for this one, and then in that large space, put in 3 doubles. Try to do it as loose as possible here. And our next one, do it loose, and then you can continue like normal once you cross that. That will help ease some of that distortion. Two and 3, chain 2, and put our 3 in. Almost on this one side, then I got my last side to do. Chain 2. Now we're going to work on the last side. And I'm going to finish the rest of this while we go on ad break here in a second. And when we come back from the ad, I will show you how to do round number... Oh, we got another round after this. We got another round of the background. I thought we were ready to do our last round. We will have 2 more rounds when we get back from our ad break. I'm just going to slip stitch to join, and then we will do rounds 7 and 8 when we get back from our commercial. Welcome back, everybody. So I finished that round. I didn't work any when we were on ad. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch to our corner. And then we're going to chain up 3. And round 7 is going to be just like round 6. We're going to do a round of regular granny stitch clusters. The last rounds are pretty simple in this pattern. And in this granny, like we've been doing, this granny stitch, we are doing a chain in between each of our granny clusters of stitches. And I can get through this round pretty fast. It's almost mindless. Not like the making the butterfly. Hey there, Anna. How are you? I'm finishing up our butterfly square for tonight. And good, just got to work. Looks so cute. Oh, thank you. I mean, it's not my design. It's from the YouTube channel Crochet Mili. Mila? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've done one or two other squares of theirs this month. I think I did a flower one previously the other week. I want to thank you again for that graphic you made for me when I go to ad break. And then if you've noticed anything different here, I found the same font you used and I added it to my on-air stream. So when I'm actually, yep. And well, Clay Miko came over the other night and she was helping me because I needed some help with some graphics and design for this part of the stream. And we picked the color of the text for Granny Month, and then where it says Butterfly Square, and moved some things around. And her idea was to add the name of my channel at the top of the what do you call this thing? The top-down camera that you can see everything. Yeah, I definitely needed a little help. That yellow was a little it was bright. You could see it, but it was a little jarring. But the problem was for the text where it says Butterfly Square and Granny Month, trying to find a color that would work with that busy background I have for my granny events. Anything else would kind of fade into the background, so that's why we went with this teal color. Hopefully it looks all right for everybody watching. I'm just finishing up this round. This is the last few rounds of this square is your basic simple granny square pattern, and I didn't form that stitch the right way. It was a little too loose. And coming along to my last side. After this round, there's one more round, and the very last round is super, super simple. It's even simpler than the granny square round that I'm working on at the moment. We're here nearing the very end. This is my last little grouping for this, well, period. So I chained one, and I'm going to join like you normally would with a basic granny. That's my slip stitch. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to cut my yarn, pull through, and tighten up. So far, it's mostly done. The hardest part was, again, joining, squaring up. Actually, that one turned out not as distorted as my first one. My first one was very distorted. It would still need to be blocked. Then for our very last round, you finally hit 100 centimeters for your table runner. About 40 centimeters to go. Wow. Keep up the good work. And again, I really love that table runner. The colors and the pattern, stitch patterns you used. Okay. So for round 8, we're going to join in any corner. And we're going to use the same color I used for my butterfly. It kind of frames it and sets it off really good if you use the same color. You don't have to. You can use a totally different color. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a standing single crochet, and I'm going to start in the corner, in any corner. And I'm going to put 2 single crochets. I'm going to chain 2, and then 2 single crochets into that corner. And then this is the simplest pattern. You're going to put a single crochet into each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and a single crochet in the space. Do that all the way around, and the corners are 2 singles, 2 chain, 2 singles. That's it. It's a very simple single crochet row, and it just adds a little bit of color to the edge to finish it off, and it makes a really nice border. And then if you make a bunch of these in coordinating colors, then you can find color to use to join them all together. And if you want to make a blanket, or what would be really cool if we can, now all the squares that I showed this month are not all exactly the same size, but if you can find ones that are similar size, which I'm not exactly certain what size this would be. I should double check that here. Actually, let me get my tape measure and I'll measure my sample. Again, I'm using worsted weight yarn and a 5.5 millimeter hook, like I normally do. And this is about 7.5 inches, which is about 19.5 centimeters. And if you have blocks that are similar, I would put some of these with some floral blocks, and also some of the other blocks that we're going to be doing the rest of this week and next week. And that would be a cute garden type blanket or throw or whatever you want to make with it. Yeah, this could work for a pocket or what. And I was showing before I added the white, with just the butterfly alone, it looked a little bit different when it was attached, but pretty close. You could just do the butterfly itself and then attach, because it's double thickness, attach that to something, to like a hat or a scarf, tote bag. I'm just doing, again, this is just single crochets all along, form a simple border. It kind of ties it all together to the butterfly. Thursday, we will be doing another butterfly square, and I will, when I get near the end here, actually, when I get to this corner, before I finish this round, because I'm going to have one more side to do, I will get my sample for Thursdays, and I will show what we're doing for that butterfly. It's going to be slightly different. I get Thursdays, and this, I should block this, but I haven't blocked it yet. It is a little bit dark. The yarns I chose were on the darker side, but this is a 3-dimensional. The body is 3-dimensional, and also the wings. So if you, I don't know if you can see the body here, it's actually made with popcorn stitches, and you make it when you start the square, and as you make the square, you do the popcorn. So you actually make the body of it before you add your colors. So that will be for Thursday, and it's at an angle, and you can position this however you want. Yeah, this definitely needs to be blocked. This one and the one for Saturday. Saturdays is the dragonfly. The channel I got these from, she tacks hers down. She actually makes a long tail of her outer color of her wings, and she sews them down flat, which I don't like them. And she also sews down the antennas. I don't like them sewn down. I like them up, because that's kind of the theme this month, is everything's 3-dimensional and sticking up off of the square. So I prefer it that way. And the other one we're going to do for Saturday for the same channel. I should have picked different colors. I don't really like the white, but she made a dragonfly. She had a dragonfly pattern, so I chose the same one. Again, on stream, I'm going to use a different color, but I wanted something that would show up. So this one's a little more difficult to do because the wings are easy, but the rounds that you do are really complicated around the center. But that will be for Saturday, we're doing flying insects. And I'm not going to show you next Tuesdays, because next Tuesdays, if anybody can tune in, definitely tune in next Tuesday. It might be, well, it's one of my favorites this month. It's up there with the popcorn flower and the water lily flower. Yeah, I'm really, really liking next Tuesdays. As a heads up for next Tuesdays, I will be using darker colors for part of it, because I could on stream use some lighter shades, but it's not going to look really that good. I'm going to try to find something to use as a different color for my background here that I'm working on, my surface. I'm not going to use white, but if I can find another color that would contrast, you can see it. There will be some black yarn that I'm going to use, but it's not real difficult stitches for that. Yeah, I'm really excited for Tuesdays. All right, so I slip stitch to join, cutting, pulling it, and then you can weave in your ends. I'm not going to weave them in right now. This definitely would have to be blocked, because transitioning from the butterfly shape to a square distorts some things. And obviously you could pick black for your body and your antenna here on the butterfly. You can choose whatever colors you want. Yep, metamorphosis, exactly. We have no worm. We have no worm for, that would be great for a garden. We have no worm square this month, but we do next week, and it's not the surprise one. We do have a snail. I'm working on, I've made the snail part. I haven't made the square part and the body. So I will give this as a sneak peek. This is for Thursday of next week. There's the snail. I still have to form it into a square and put its little antenna, stalk, whatever you call those things on the top of a snail's head. So there is the snail. This one's a little more difficult and challenging. So as a heads up now, in advance, for next Thursday, not this coming Thursday, but for next Thursday's stream, if anybody wants to make this or crochet along, the pink here, you're actually going to use the two colors together. So you're going to do some, and then you're going to stop and switch color. You're going to be working in a spiral. And I'll show you how to do that. But the pink are bullion stitches. Last month I showed how to do bullion stitches, and they can be very difficult with a regular hook. They can be done, but to get them even can be difficult. So if anybody wants to do this, and when I showed last month how to do them, I recommend getting a latch hook. For those who don't know what a latch hook is, it's a tool to make like a hooked rug or a wall hanging. And the key thing is that the hook at the end, it's got the hook, and then it's got this movable latch, and that will help form your bullion stitch. What I will do next Thursday, when I show this, before I show this, I'll recap how to make a bullion stitch, and then when we go to do it, it will form it. So I don't know if you can see that the pink is a slightly different stitch than everything else. Everything else, I think, are singles and half doubles in the blue. The pink has got a different texture to it. So you can do it with a regular hook, but it's a lot easier with a latch hook if you can find one of these. But that's for next Thursday. That's our cute little snail. So that is back to what we did tonight. That's our little butterfly. Again, it's by the YouTube channel Crochet Mili, M-I-L-I, Mili. That channel, there is no, well, the videos I've seen, they don't have spoken instructions. They have it all written on screen. So I'm not having to translate or having to watch and see what they're doing. So they do give written instructions, but it's on screen. So that is our butterfly. And then the back looks kind of like, doesn't look too bad. I mean, obviously it's the back side. But as you can see, there's that large hole from when you transition from butterfly to square. But you're not really going to see it as much. Again, on the front, the antenna help hide it. And while I'm doing that, I might as well weave in these ends. This one turned out a lot better than my sample. Where did my sample go to anyway? Yeah, I don't really like the sample. I think it's because of this hot pink yarn. I don't really like the hot pink yarn. But it's a scrap I had. Just going to weave in my tails. And then the rest of the stream. Oh, weaving in the ends of the tail runner has me crying a little. Actually, I don't, and I've probably mentioned this before. I'm one of those weird ones. I love weaving in ends. Love it. It's not like my favorite thing to do, but I don't mind it at all. I think when I go to weave, when I'm weaving them in, I kind of think of it as like it's the final process. Like it's like the project is officially done. Besides blocking, if you need to block or if you want to block, but knowing that I'm weaving them in. Each time I weave one in, it's one step closer to being finished. When weaving yeah, that's what I need to do with the temperature blanket. So, if anybody was here Sunday when I was doing temperature blanket, and I was complaining that it was getting warm, because yes, it is June and the temperatures are warm, and it was laying here and everything, I realized why it was so warm. I didn't realize at the time, but afterwards, my AC unit that's in the window, periodically, I guess, when the filter gets dusty, it goes into like reset mode, so it's shut off, but it doesn't make a noise. I didn't even hear it shut off because it's on the other side of the room. So I noticed that evening after stream that there was a red light on it. So all I had to do was fully turn it off, clean up the filter, and then put it back in and restart it. So that's why it was warm, because it was warm in here. But yesterday, yesterday. Oh. Anyway, but yeah, it had to have been yesterday because today's Tuesday. Yesterday, I did catch up on the temperature blanket. So that is all caught up. I still have lots of ends to weave in. I got ends to weave in from back in like probably April. I've not gotten into blocking mats. Does anyone know if a pack of blocking mats come with the pins for blocking? I'm not certain, but I do know that you don't have to get specific mats that are specifically designed for blocking. You can get those foam floor mats that like fit together like a puzzle for like a kid's playroom. You can use those. I think they're probably they're more inexpensive. And you can use stainless steel T-pins. That's what I've done the other week when I made the, I don't have it on hand right now. The blue, well, my sample is blue. The one I did on stream was yellow, the spiral flower with all the picos and the chains, the lacy one. I had to block that. I just used stainless steel T-pins. So that might be a little bit more affordable, possibly, because I know sometimes things that are specifically for the crafting world can be pricey. But yeah, I've never bought any blocking materials before. Actually, what I blocked it on was a thick piece of a cushion foam to make seat cushions. They do make ones that are specifically for blocking, where it'll be a piece of plastic or wood, and they'll have multiple pins, so you can have multiple pins at one point, and you can do it all at once. Those would come in handy. But if you need to, actually, let me get my sample. It's still here it's still blocked from last week. This here, the spiral one I made, this is just a thick piece of cushion foam, like upholstery foam. And then I just used stainless steel T-pins. So, I mean, I had all this on hand. I had the T-pins, we had the foam. But yeah, fairy dust, like I said, I've never used or bought anything specifically for that. And I don't really do that much blocking. Most of my stuff, I don't care if it's blocked or really doesn't need to be blocked. Like a queen size blanket, it can be difficult to block because it's so large, unless it's small squares. So, there is our butterfly. And speaking of butterfly, before we go to add, this is our little chat command that we have, and anybody can use this. It's exclamation point butterfly.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high.
For those in here that are old enough to remember Reading Rainbow back in the day, I don't know if they still have that show and if they still use that same theme. That was the beginning part of the theme song for Reading Rainbow. All right. So we're going to go to add. And when we come back from our ad break, I'm getting out the carders because we've got roughly a half hour, maybe a little longer. I don't know if I'm going to stream longer than that. I've never blocked anything, but typically everything I've made has remained flat and the edges straight. Yep, same thing with me, except for like these squares here. If I was going to use these for anything, I would definitely have to block these because they're distorted and they curl, and because it's the stitches and the tension and the yarn, sometimes they can. So we are going to, I'm going to move that out of the way. I got to move my yarn bowl because I don't need that right now. I don't need that right now. So when we come back from ad, I'm going to do some more carding. I will be right back, everybody. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through that ad break. It helps a lot. Let me adjust my volume. Before we left, I did that chat command, the butterfly command. There, if you're a member of the Discord, in the useful things channel, there is a list of chat commands that you can use. Some are audio, like the butterfly one. There's also the alert command, the YouTube command, and the Discord command. So if you want the YouTube channel, the Discord link, you can type in exclamation point in those commands. Or you could do lurk if you just want to say, hey, I'm here, but I'm not really active. And there's a whole bunch of other chat commands. So these are the scraps that I used from tonight's square. Actually, that pink one wasn't. That light pink one wasn't, but that's fine. And then I'm going to have some other blue and pink ones. So that is what we're going to card. It's a little bit long, but we're going to see how it works when we open up. We should send you our yarn scraps for your yarn spinning project. You don't have to. Grammy and Clean have said, well, Grammy actually gave me a bunch. These, guess, I don't know what you would call this. Maybe citrusy colored, I guess. These peaches and yellows and teals and greens. Those colors she did give me. But I know them personally in real life. Well, this is real life, but you know what I mean. Locally. Oh, I got plenty of scraps. That one's not really opening up the way I want it to. It will probably open. And again, I am no expert in this. Yes, Grammy, very, very locally. So yeah, I showed the two other squares we're going to do this week, the other butterfly and the dragonfly. And then next week we've got the snail, and then we have two surprises. One is a square that it's a candidate for my favorite of the month. It's high up there. And because it's so stinking cute. I mean, most of them that I've made have been cute, but Tuesdays is really, really cute. And then the last of the granny event, even though it's not a granny square, it will tie into our garden theme. That's another surprise. That is for Saturday, July 1st. And that will round out our granny month garden theme. And again, starting in July, we're doing a whole bunch of different variations and some different things related to crochet. And I've mentioned them on stream before. And starting the first Thursday in July, we will be doing our Throwback Thursdays with our vintage crochet patterns. And Grammy will be assisting in choosing what we do on some of those Throwback Thursdays with some edging patterns that she's going to pick out. And I have no idea what they're going to be until we go live. So it'll be fun and exciting. A lot of the new things that's coming up, well, the new ideas and projects that I've got for July. I am already in the process of trying to come up with things for our next granny event. We haven't even finished this granny event. We'll probably have another granny event. Probably, I don't know about if it's August, but or September. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if it's going to be a month long or back to a week. And I know we don't want to think about it yet, but I'm going to have to, in the next few months, think about some projects for the holiday season that'll be coming up before we know it. But I got a plan now. Remember, it sometimes will link a channel to the YouTubers to watch that has a channel dedicated to vintage crochet. Yes. In my YouTubers to watch channel, I did put a link in there for the channel called Just Vintage Crochet. Her name is Karina, and she will do, on that channel, it's all vintage stuff. So anything from like the 1840s, I think, or at least that I've seen her do, and then possibly up into the 1980s, even though it just seems weird calling the 1980s vintage, because I was a child in the 1980s. But, yeah, she's got a whole lot of really, really cool videos of trying to interpret the patterns and how they wrote patterns and how they spoke. And a lot of hers are UK patterns, so she's trying to translate that into US terms. Okay, that's the channel I was going to link. It's already there, so that means I don't have to try to remember to link. Nope, it's already there. Yep. She has another channel. I gotta turn this volume down a little bit. The same YouTuber has another channel, and I think it's called It's Not Knit, and I think she does other stuff that's not. She does other stuff that's not vintage. It's more modern, I guess. I've only watched a few from that channel, but I really like her channel. She kind of gave me the inspiration to do some vintage stuff. She also has, on her channel, she's got a series where it's all Titanic, meaning it's from that era. Not necessarily it was things that were on the Titanic, but it's pretty likely that they were crocheted patterns that people had items of that were on the Titanic. And I've never done it before, but she is getting, on her channel, she wants to delve more into Irish crochet. Irish crochet tends to be a floral, and it has a lot of chains and picots, kind of similar to this type of effect on the outside. Not exact, but very similar. A lot of lacy things like that. So we might end up trying to do some Irish crochet in the distant future. But again, if anybody is in the Discord and they have a YouTuber or any other links, it doesn't have to be just YouTuber, any other links to blogs or wherever to sites of makers, and it doesn't have to be just crochet, it could be other crafts. I think I posted a link to my friend John. He has a quilting channel on YouTube. He just started it within the past month or so, and it's called Conscious Quilting, not crocheting, where he does a lot of relaxing videos of him quilting. So again, the Discord isn't just for crochet. And I want to try to do the stream here on Twitch to do other things besides crochet. Crochet is my go-to, of course. But I just got to find some other projects to do. I've got some things I want to do, but trying to set up the camera angle is the difficult part. I would love to get my rigid heddle loom, but to set it up so you would be able to see everything, I don't know how I'm going to do that. And I would also love to do some floral arranging and floral design things like wreaths and other types of things. But again, camera angle is the challenge. But I think that's awesome. Quilting, especially when done by hand, looks super. Yeah, he's not doing it by hand, it's machine quilting. He is a very talented quilter. He works in the industry for a living, and him and Grammy quilts too, but not the exact same type of quilting. And they both have their favorite parts to it. And Grammy will probably tell you, she likes the piecing part and the design part, and he doesn't. He likes the quilting, and she doesn't really enjoy the actual quilting part. But yeah, definitely check out his channel. He's just recently started it again. Oops, that one didn't open up. Some of these really didn't open up because it was near the edge, but that's all right. I'll probably end up carding all of this again anyway. Oh yeah, let's use some of the yarn scraps that Grammy gave me. I really like these colors. Yeah, and I don't know what... I want to call them citrus, even though the blue isn't really a citrus color. They remind me of citrus colors when they're all together like this. Lemons, limes, oranges. I can tell a difference in quality of yarn. The yarn I was using for my scraps was okay, but this yarn that she gave me, I haven't even fully opened it up. It's much silkier and fluffier. And that's going to look really pretty when it's all blended. Hopefully it'll look pretty. Yeah, that's just... I really like that yarn. Not just the colors, but the yarn itself. It's all from Hirschner's, good quality, but very economical. Yep, I've never ordered anything from Kirschner's before, but I know they have some good stuff. That's what I probably need to do, is to put a list of places online to get yarn. I might have done that before. Maybe. I don't know if I've done that yet. I'll have to double check. Actually, speaking of which, I'm going to link the channel, the video. I'm not going to actually make a list of my own. Tony from TL Yarn Crafts, actually 3 days ago, she put out a video. Well, that was for patterns. I think she also has a video on places to buy yarn online. She put out a video, the best place on the internet to find free patterns. So I will have to remember to link that video. So if anybody wants some free patterns, I'll have to also double check to see if her or any of the other YouTubers that I follow have places where to get yarn besides your big box stores. Because I know not everybody has one of those accessible to them, especially if you're international. Yeah, when this opens up, it's very silky. Very silky. Okay, I think I have a little too much in there. It opened up a lot more than I thought it was going to. All right, so I'm gonna need to pull some of these out because they're not gonna get carded when they're there on that edge. They get real little. Let me double check something here. I think Tony has done a video on that. And La Petite Saint, it's French. I'm learning is also believed. Yes. And I love both of their channels. Her name Elise. Elise from La Petite Saint. I think that's how you pronounce it. She does a lot of amigurumi and dolls and toys, but she does have a lot of other information. There's so many creative creators on the internet. Okay, you really can't see it because the light is washing everything out, but that's making a really nice green color. Yeah, it's probably not showing up the same way on camera. Alrighty. Yeah, I gotta get better at actually rolling these rolags. Again, everything that I've carded, I'm probably going to recard again. All of Hirschner's 8-ounce acrylic is always less than $5. Can get value bags for even better bargain. Once on their mailing list, they run specials on shipping too. Yeah, they've got some really nice stuff. Seen a bunch of the stuff that Grammy's gotten, besides this. Every time I watch one of Tony's videos, I just think to myself, I love her teeth. Yeah. I like Tony's personality, and I really like the color palette that she chooses for her yarns. They tend to be more contemporary, but not too, I don't know what the word is. They look very clean and just kind of sophisticated. But again, those of you who don't know who Tony is, definitely check out TL Yarn Crafts on YouTube. She does mostly crochet. She also does a lot of Tunisian crochet. She's actually put out a book, Tasteful and Not Outdated. Yes, she actually has a book, like a real book, like a real, honest to God, published hardcover book on Tunisian crochet. If you want to delve more into it, and that's something I need to get back into. We've done Tunisian on the stream before. I need to do some more Tunisian. It's been a while. What I used to do was I would do a stitch from my Stitch Dictionary book of regular crochet, and then the second half of the stream I would do a Tunisian stitch. I haven't done that in a while. I don't know if we're going to bring back that format again, but we might touch on that book again, and again the Tunisian. You've never tried Tunisian? It seems intimidating at first. The basic Tunisian simple stitch, it's in its name. It is very simple. Problem is, it's not a problem. Something to be aware of, most Tunisian stitches, you don't flip the work. You're going to be working right to left to right. You're going to go back and forth. You don't flip, kind of like a typewriter. If those of you are old enough to remember a typewriter, you go to the end, and then you work back, and you go, yeah. So there will be some tension, some curling can happen. It's something to keep in mind. And most Tunisian stitches look different on the back side than it does the front side. And you do need a long enough hook. Kind of like a combination of crochet and knitting. Kind of. I'm really loving this yarn. From what I've seen, it's like, yep, it's like crocheting and knitting had a baby. Not to be confused, there is something called Cronit. I think it's similar. I think that's when you use the double-ended crochet hook. I've got a set of those. Haven't really used it too much. I think it's called Cronit. Yeah, this yarn, thank you, Grammy. This yarn is it's softer even after you card it. It's softer than the other. The fibers are just so, I don't know what the word is. But yeah, we'll probably do some more Tunisian on the channel. At some point. Those are kind of short. We're going to go to another ad here shortly. And I think when we get back from the ad, we're going to card a little more, and then we're probably going to raid somebody. So I will return after these ads. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Again, thank you for sitting through the ad break. I'm going to put away my scraps for tonight. Move my fluff basket. And we're going to wind down. I will be on Thursday night for butterfly number 2. The butterfly number 2.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high.
I'm crazy. So tune in for that. Again, to recap, we did our first butterfly tonight. Check out the Discord. Check out the YouTube. The usual stuff. We're going to go raid. I think we're going to go raid Mr. Drew. And let me unmute this first. We're going to go and raid him real quick. See what he's working on. Oh, he's doing a birthday stream. So everybody, if you're going to join the raid and pop on over there, wish him a happy birthday. And I will talk to you on Thursday. Oh, that's not the correct command. It's not an exclamation point. It's slash. Alrighty. So, everybody, I will chat with you all on Thursday. Gotta remember what day it is. Have a good night and happy streaming. Happy crafting, not streaming.